back when COVID was just starting, I was part of this business coaching team group, and our mentor posed this question to us. He said, what would happen if COVID just decimates your business, right? You have to shut down, close your doors. What would you do next? And I thought, oh, that's a super interesting question. What would I do next? And so I spent a bunch of time thinking about that, mostly just as like an academic exercise. And I started asking myself, like, what do I really like doing? I like talking to interesting people. I don't mind some public speaking. I think I'm a decent writer and communicator. Maybe I'll write a book, right? But then I thought, no, that's so far out. That's not what I want to do, at least not right now. Although I have thought about that later. So I eventually hit on the idea of a podcast, like, I get to talk to interesting people. I get to learn things. That would be a lot of fun. And then I, pretty quickly realized that, well, I don't have to, my business doesn't have to shut down for me to start a podcast. I can just do that right now. And so that's what I did. I started it, and I remember there were a couple of people on the team who were cocking their head sideways a little bit, like, are you sure? Like, a podcast, really? But here we are over 5 years later, and we've got this vibrant community of listeners, and I get messages regularly from people who say, hey, your podcast, not just, mostly not me, but the people, the guests that we have, and the stories that they tell, the insights and wisdom they share, like, it actually inspires people. I got a message just a few weeks ago from a guy who was like, I was ready to quit. I graduated and I couldn't find a job. I'd been looking for a long time for an engineering job, and I just couldn't find one. And then I found the Being an Engineer podcast, and I like ripped through them all, and they were super inspiring for me, and I learned some things, and I decided to be persistent. And hey, guess what? I just got my first engineering job, like a week ago or whatever this was that he had sent me this message, which is so fulfilling for me, right? This thing, this baby that I birthed and that so many people have helped with, is actually doing like great, useful things for people out there. So if you haven't listened to the podcast, do so. It's awesome. We have some really cool guests there. The founder of SolidWorks and Onshape, John Hirschtick. We've got like YouTube sensation, the Hacksmith. There's David O, who was on the NASA, the Mars Curiosity, like flight director, something like that. Anyway, just awesome people sharing really great engineering stories. And we'd love to have you there listening also.